like from your personal account, I would like to ask you, like, have you yet found the purpose of life?
It's a question on which I can philosophize for hours and hours, since you mentioned a few important words in our life.
Sir, if you could write your autobiography one day, what emotion do you think would be most dominant in that autobiography? Okay. You weren't joyful when you were 18?
No, I was, but maybe in the hindsight, I feel I could have been more.
Okay.
I could have prepared for the examination in a more joyful manner. Maybe I would like to sing on that day, roam about in the apple trees, and to philosophize that day. And spend time with my daughter. I have an option to duck the questions.
Like, these are not difficult questions, sir. This is very simple. Like,
so let's see what these are.
Okay. So white or black?
Depends on the situation.
Republic or monarchy?
It depends on the people.
Okay.
Hey you guys, my name is Vaibhav Bhardwaj and today I present to you the third episode of Bureaucrats, and our guest is the very special Lalit Jain sir. He is presently serving as Director Environment Science and Technology, Himachal Pradesh. Talking to sir was a different experience altogether. His deep knowledge about things, his intellect, and his insight into various topics were revelation. Do watch this episode completely, not just to understand a civil servant, but maybe to understand yourself.
Thank you so much for agreeing to have this conversation with me. How are you feeling, sir?
No, it always feels great. Any day is important, so it is also a good day for me.
Okay, sir. So is there any thought that's going on in your head right now?
Of course, my office work is there which is going on, but yes, I am joyful at the moment. I am very happy today. It's a sunny day.
Okay. Sir, you've been serving in the government for more than a decade now, and it all started with you clearing one of the most difficult exams of the world by some standards. Sir, what is it that still keeps you motivated to wake up in the morning, go to your office and perform your duties?
See, if one is given life in whatever form it is, whether it's a human being or an animal, it itself calls for a joy. Because not every molecule on this earth gets a chance to become a life form. Now I have been given a life as a human being, and I am very joyful, and it motivates me to spend it, because I understand life is short and every moment is ticking. While I am enjoying my life, I should be contributing something to this world. And I think government service is a chance, especially the Indian Administrative Service, to do a lot for society. The smile which the work brings on a con man's face motivates you daily to do better and better.
So what do you think is the biggest misconception people have about civil servants?
See, we don't have a magic wand to solve all the problems. We work in a very democratic framework. So, whereas there are a lot of problems and a lot of complexities which a common man finds around him daily, not every problem can be solved by civil servants alone. It requires cooperation of the people, cooperation of the public representative, rules and regulations, and only then things can be resolved. So I think sometimes when we are, especially in field postings, sometimes there's an impression that just by signing a file we'll be able to resolve the problem, but things are much more complex and much more deep than we think they are.
So you're saying that people probably have a lot of demands from you guys, like that you'll be able to solve the problem. But
True.
But it works in a system like
True.
that. So when one prepares for a civil servant, he's entering that race, which is fighting with innumerable people. But when one becomes a civil servant, is there still some sense of competition left in a person, maybe for a better post, maybe for a better place to work in? Is there some sense of competition still there?
Friend, life itself is a competition. So daily you will face various challenges in life, whether it's a social challenge or economic challenge or your challenge related to your occupation. Since certain people have their own preferences for doing a particular kind of job, if you have a preference, then naturally, if your preferences clash with somebody else, you might find a stress over there. Otherwise, I think there's a lot of scope for the Indian Administrative Service. Wherever they are placed, there's always work for them to do. But yes, in case you aspire to be somewhere and in some position, definitely there is going to be some competition.
Okay. Sir, let's go back in time. If you could give one piece of advice to your 18-year-old self, like what piece of advice would you give?
Be joyful in life.
Okay. You weren't joyful when you were 18?
No, I was, but maybe in the
A little
hindsight,
more.
I feel I could have been more.
Okay.
I could have prepared for the examination in a more joyful manner.
Okay.
It's very important to enjoy your life, and these things, once you have a perseverance and you keep on working towards your goal, they do fall in line.
Okay. Sir, you meet very many people in your daily lives. What is that one personality trait that you get instantly attracted to?
See, honesty is very important. Whenever you interact with people, one should be honest with your thoughts and what you want.
Okay.
Of course, we keep a lot of cards to our chest also. That's a part of human social behavior. But at the same time, whatever you want to achieve from the other person, that should be very clear, and that comes with honesty.
Okay. Sir, if you could live a life of any historical person, could be anybody, the only condition is that that person needs to be a female. Whose life would you like to live and why?
It's a very difficult question because you have changed my gender altogether. There are so many people in this world who have done great work,
Okay.
whether they are males or females. I think there are many people whose life maybe I could be living. Mahatma Gandhi is a person who comes to my mind immediately.
Okay. What is it about Mahatma Gandhi that inspires you?
See, the story of his experiments with truth.
Okay.
That's a marvelous thesis and an antithesis and a way of living life which he has presented to the world.
Yeah.
Being non-violence is a part of human nature.
Okay.
So we need to practice it daily in our life, and Mahatma Gandhi has shown the way in numerous write-ups and numerous speeches, his behavior which he has shown. Well, you talked about a lady.
Yeah.
I think I find two ladies, rather three ladies who are very important to me. One, my grandmother, who is
Okay.
no longer there in this world, my mother and my wife.
Okay.
If I get a chance, maybe I'll like to live a life which is a hybrid of all the
All
three
of these.
ladies.
Okay.
My daughter, of course.
Okay.
She's very small, so I don't know what kind of life she will have. Perhaps you will ask me after 20, 30 years, I'll be able to say much about that.
Okay. Sir, the life of a civil servant is hard. We all know that, and it's very demanding life. What do you do to entertain yourself? Like, how do you like to spend your time when you're free? What do you do like?
See, I would somehow not agree with the word that it's a hard life, because
It's not.
every human being who is born,
Has
he
a
will
hard-
have his own share of hardness
Okay.
in life. And it's a normal life, and I have an occupation to do. And I believe that civil servants are blessed that they get a platform where they can show their work to the world, and you get a decent standard of life also.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you ask about my hobbies, I am fond of reading, I am fond of singing, I like reading newspapers a lot, and I like walking also. Shimla is a place where I got a chance to walk,
Okay.
and some of the hobbies which are coming to my mind instantly.
Okay. Sir, you just said that you like reading. Like, what genre of books do you enjoy reading the most?
Generally motivating books which are written by great men,
Okay.
sometimes autobiographies also, and books which are related to human minds. I am also fond of homeopathy,
Okay.
which I try to practice and try to learn this science.
Okay. Okay.
I was inspired by a number of people in this, Dr. Virender Gupta, Mr. Ashish Singla,
Okay.
then Dr. Thind. They all are very renowned homeopaths in Tri-City.
Okay.
So I try to read about homeopathy also.
Okay. Is there any book that you want to refer to me, like famous book, inspiration?
Om Swamiji,
Om
his
Swamiji.
books,
Okay.
they are very nicely written, and I'm fond of Om Swamiji.
Okay.
So you try reading his books. They
Okay.
give a new meaning to life in the modern world. They are very modern, and they are like of yours and mine age.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, imagine that the world is ending tomorrow and only you have this information. If you could bring one change to this world, like of all the problems that we are facing probably, what problem would you choose to evade from this earth?
Well, it's something very personal to me. I
Okay.
will not put my assumptions and my thoughts on somebody, but vegetarianism is very close to my heart.
Okay. Okay.
So perhaps I wish that the world would turn vegetarian for a day
Okay.
at least, because God has given us so many things which can sustain us biologically.
Yeah.
So I always feel why to kill animals for your food. Perhaps I would like to see the world vegetarian for a day.
Okay.
Yes.
So when did this thing of vegetarianism developed in you? Like from the very early age it was?
See, I have been born in a Jain way of life, and vegetarianism is a central tenet of Jainism.
Okay.
So perhaps the people around me, my grandmother, mother, grandparents from both sides, and my father,
Yes, sir.
we have been somehow have been die-hard vegetarians till date, and I have tried to even keep my wife and my daughter also, although I am imposing my thoughts on them. But till the time they agree with me, that makes me very happy.
Okay. Sir, if I ask you this question, like if one day of your life you could spend the way you want to, like literally the way you want to, you could do anything in that day, how would you like to spend that day, sir?
Maybe I would like to sing on that day, roam about in the apple trees, and to philosophize that day, and spend time with my daughter.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the way you want to spend. Okay. But sir, is there anything that you want to do that you have not yet done? Something that you want to try new on that day?
Maybe I would like to organize a jamming session.
Jamming
where
session.
all
You're
my
very fond of
friends
singing.
Would sit and we can jam the melodies away.
Okay.
And maybe I would like to spend more time with my mother and my father.
Okay.
Yes.
So, sir, what is your favorite song that you often sing?
All the songs, I sing all the honors, old as well as new, whatever touches my heart.
Okay.
I generally hum that alone.
Okay, sir. Sir, Indian history is filled with incursions, infiltrations, loot, and economic drain. What is that one event in Indian history that you think has changed the course of India?
When you're talking to me as a civil servant, it's very difficult because many of my statements may be assumed as political.
Okay.
But you ask me as a person,
yes, sir.
I would say that it is unfortunate. Our land has been blessed by God. At the same time, we have been infested by looters and infiltrators.
Okay.
And I personally believe that history of this country is continuing. So maybe we have new kind of looters in this country, whom maybe I would not like to name, but yes, everybody knows. And again, all the events they're all a part of a continuous change events. It's very difficult to name a particular event. India getting independence is an important event.
Okay.
Then the first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, his vision that laid the foundations of very strong India. That's a very important event. There are a number of events. I think any event which I would say would become political ultimately, but there are good as well as bad events. Daily we are facing events which are just changing the course of this country.
Okay.
So it's difficult to say, but yes, I think the history has been changed by different cultures which have come to this part of land, and that process is still continuing. I wish that this land has a stability of thought, of cultures, and the strife which is taking place in this land, just on the basis of my thought and your thought.
Yes, sir.
We are waiting for the day when it will end.
Okay.
मेरा भारत तो महान है ही है, but at the same time we need to show it. We need to accept each other's thought, and merely a release of a film or an artwork should not lead to Kalashnikovs coming out in the public.
Yes, sir. Sir, most of the youth of this world these days are facing depression, anxiety, and many mental health problems. And like for a person like me, sometimes I question God. Sometimes I question, there's one basic question that often comes in my head. That is, what is the purpose of life? From the eyes of, from your personal account, I would like to ask you, have you yet found the purpose of life?
It's a question on which I can philosophize for hours and hours, since you mentioned a few important words in our life. You mentioned the word purpose, you mentioned the word God, you mentioned the word stress.
Okay.
So coming to each of them, for me, again, it's my personal thought, it's very difficult to assume that a God has a form.
Okay.
There is a force in this world which is determining each one of us, and which may be helping us, and which may be against us. But it's very difficult to think, at least for me, to it have any form.
Okay.
So my fundamentals about God and supernatural are very different. I can feel God sometimes in my daughter. I find God sometimes in a flower. I find God in a sunlight. I find God sometimes in a common man who is walking on a street. So God, He is there with us everywhere because there is some power whom may name as God, Avatar or any other name which is determining our life. And secondly, coming to the purpose of the life and the stress.
Yeah.
See, we are all in this world because of a chance and an accident.
Okay.
I don't believe so that there is some kind of an intervention from the skies, because for me it's very difficult to even think that God lives in sky.
Okay.
We came here as an accident. Ultimately, we are form of energies, and our energies, they have been interacting. That form of energy makes us grow, and we have been just living our life. Why can't we just live our life like a plant or an animal is doing?
Yeah.
At the right side of mine, I think it's in camera frame, there's a plant which is lying in a pot.
Yes.
Is it asking these questions? It is just lying there. It's as still as it is enjoying its chlorophyll, its air, its sunlight and its water.
Yes.
If somebody waters it, it will grow. If nobody waters it, it will die. It is as simple as science. It's likewise with us.
Yes, sir.
We are here in this world. We are here in this world to live. How we live is important. And as far as stress goes, we must realize that this life is changing every moment. Any amount of stress, any amount of distress, good and bad, is just for a moment. It's a cycle. You would have realized in your life also, happiness and sadness both go together. Whether it's a billionaire, whether it's the topmost politician, a common man, or a man on the street, or a powerful man. All of them, they get these cycles of life. It's for you to understand this. Once our youth, they are made to understand, maybe through our education system or through your channel.
Yes,
There are, I am sure, many more philosophical videos which teach you this fundamental fact of life. I think their stress will come down. We have ultimately cluttered our life with a lot of things. We need to declutter it. Yes, it's an important topic and it requires a full day.
Yes.
I think in my preliminary remarks, I can say so.
Okay, sir. Sir, every year, very many people get selected into the civil services. If you could give one piece of advice to these young people who are being recruited into the services, what piece of advice would you like to give to them?
See, come here to do a job, to do an occupation.
Okay.
Don't come with very high ideals because that will lead to a lot of stress.
Okay.
Ultimately, you are part of a system. You are given a particular assignment.
Okay.
You can do whatever the system allows. You cannot go beyond that.
Okay,
So
sir.
once you are into service, just like a bank manager's job is important, your job is also important. Just like a doctor engineer does his job, you also do that job. Only thing is, because you are in a public life and you are in a government system, whatever you do has an impact on larger growth.
Okay, sir.
So that is why you are important. Otherwise, don't come with a notion of high importance and an arrogance.
Okay.
That will be thrown out and you will be under stress all the time.
Okay. Sir, you have served in the length and breadth of Himachal Pradesh. From which place do you have the fondest of memories from Himachal?
I was posted as Sub-Divisional Magistrate of Nalagarh.
Okay.
So the people of Nalagarh are very warm.
Okay.
I still have a lot of linkages with them and their fond memories. And then I was Deputy Commissioner of Sirmaur.
Okay.
Sirmaur again is a very amazing place, and which is a microcosm of cultures of North India.
Okay, sir.
You find Punjab, Haryana, UP, Uttarakhand, Delhi, all kinds of cultures there. So
Yes.
Sirmaur was an amazing place. Both of the places I remember very fondly.
Nalagarh and Sirmaur.
Yes.
Sir, India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. If I ask you like one thing about India that you can probably give as an advice to Indians to help them grow, what piece of advice would you like to give?
See, notion of fastness is again something which economists play with their numbers and statistics.
Okay.
I may or may not agree with them, but at the same time, I think that since we have a very diverse population and an educated population and a population which has now some money in their pockets, so in case a youth wants to do, he should look for what is required to the people. Maybe that can be an important idea to start with. I can say that if today a youth can open up a mobile phone repair shop, let's say. Now you don't find people who can repair your Apple phone very easily.
Yeah.
So that could be highly remunerative. We are today sitting and interviewing for a YouTube video channel. It's something which you have innovative. Youth have innovative. YouTube never thought that this is going to happen. But today, if you find YouTube channels have more subscribers than the traditional channels which are available via satellite.
Yes, sir.
So youth should look around at things which are required by the people, come up with the idea, do things differently. And I'm sure that banks these days they are better and they cooperate and you can get loans and all that. But at the same time, getting a mentor and a skill is very important. Risks are important, but take calculated risks.
Okay. Sir, if you could write your autobiography one day, what emotion do you think would be most dominant in that autobiography?
I think importance of non-violence in life,
Okay.
which is connected to vegetarianism also. Non-violence would not only be physical, but also by your thoughts, by your words. And secondly, living your life joyfully.
Okay.
And thirdly, having an attitude of an elephant. When an elephant walks through the bazaars,
Okay.
you generally find the dogs
Yes, sir.
which are chased,
Yes.
which chase the elephant rather. And you would see that elephant, he keeps on walking, and people, whosoever offer him something, he doesn't start sitting over there and start singing praises for those people. He simply walks. He gets hold of the banana, eats it and simply walks. And there are street urchins who would be throwing stones at him.
Yes.
He doesn't react much unless until it hurts him.
Yeah.
So if we can have such an attitude in life and keep on walking, that will be great. That can be part of my autobiography. But of course, it will have a lot of thoughts on my grandmother, my grandparents, my parents and my daughter, my wife, and the experiences of life which I have had.
Okay. That's a beautiful thought, sir. So we've introduced this fun round by the end of the show, and I'll be giving you option. You just have to choose one of them.
Sure.
Okay, sir.
I have an option to duck the questions.
These are not difficult questions, sir.
Okay.
This is very simple.
So let's see what these are.
Okay. So white or black?
Depends on the situation.
Republic or monarchy?
It depends on the people.
Okay, sir. History or science or technology? Science and technology.
All are important.
All. Sunrise or moonlight?
Both have their own romanticism.
You're not answering. But if you have to choose one, sir, what do you enjoy more, sunrise or moonlight?
No, because I enjoy both of them.
What do you enjoy more?
Difficult to say because it has never happened that I have preferred one over the other.
Okay. Alpine or desert?
Both of them. Very important. They're very beautiful actually.
Okay. Fly in a sky for 1 hour or dive underwater for 1 hour?
I don't like both of them rather.
Okay. Something different at least this time. US or Russia?
Both are very good countries, great countries. I've been to US, but I was a child, so I don't remember much. Russia, I long to go.
But whose ideology do you prefer more?
Both are very important. It's difficult again because as a person, I believe that ideologies should not become a reason for fracas.
Okay, sir.
Ultimately, both have played an important role in the history and the games which go on amongst the politicians.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, my friends, they are much more deep, they are much more complex.
Yes.
We sitting in drawing rooms won't be able to fathom.
Okay.
It will not be something out of the box if I say that maybe both of them are friends internally.
Yes.
So for all the political questions, I believe that they are very complex questions and it's difficult to choose one between the two.
Okay. That's a very different thing that you just said, sir. A dream to work on or having a settled life?
Work is very important for having a settled life.
Okay. So perfect or not perfect?
Non-perfect.
Non-perfect. So books or documentaries?
Books can also be in the shape of documentaries. So a book may be converted into a documentary. I read a book and also watch a documentary.
Okay, sir. So thank you so much for having a part.
Pleasure was entirely mine.
Thank you so much, sir.
I swear, I didn't want this conversation to end. Maybe because there was so much more I wanted to gain from sir. But who knows, maybe soon. As for you guys, we'll be coming next week with another new guest. Stay tuned. This is Vaibhav Bhardwaj signing off. Stay positive, spread love. Hello, wait. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.